Good evening. We are picking up where we never left off. This is a session 1. Congratulations, Jigstraw, on being first. My throat is a little bit gunky. That'll probably clear out as I talk. I apologize. Full disclosure, I have played this game before, but it's been years, so I've probably forgotten most of the solutions. Initializing firmware. Firmware functional. Loading child program parameters. B99700001 loaded. System check passed. Starting child process. Ready. Gonna have to turn that sensitivity down. It's still a bit much, actually.
Behold,
That's better.
child, you are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your maker, and I am called Elohim. Seek me in my temple, if you are worthy.
Yes, this is a puzzle-solving game. Jigstraw is, summarizing it well. It's very philosophical. Yeah, absolutely do play this game. It's super good. Yeah, if you have to dip, you have to dip. Have a wonderful night. If I can just try to say day and night at the same time. Have a wonderful night. Initiating child program logic check. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Subject-object interaction. Okay. Complex task management. Okay. Okay, if I try to pick this thing up from this side, I automatically walk to the other side first. Child program basic calibration successful. But yeah, to further clarify, it was years ago by now, but I have 100%ed the base game of Talos Principle, but I never beat the DLC Road to Gehenna. And it's been about 5 years since I played, so I'm not sure how much difficulty I'm going to have with the base game. But I remember the DLC quite thoroughly trouncing me. But this time around, perhaps I'll give it a stronger showing.
All across this land, I have created trials for you to overcome. And within each, I have hidden a sigil. It is your purpose to seek these sigils, for thus you will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
Yep, same devs as Serious Sam. There's actually a Easter egg you can find in one of the levels. That's basically a Serious Sam museum. I find myself in a world of impossible architecture and inexplicable machines. I cannot fathom how it works, and I am terrified to put one foot in front of the other, lest I fall through the floor. One with Faith, version 10.1. I can hear the Tetris theme. It's in my mind. Peephole. Keeping is bad? I mean, it depends on, like, a few things. Like, you can get away with a lot more if you're cute, for example. And I yoinked the Tetronymo.
This sigil to open the gate to my temple, but it may serve you in times to come.
Yeah, if memory serves, the only essential sigils are the red ones. You can kind of tell, like, the difficulty of a puzzle by the color of the sigils that it offers. Only the two of us. And you don't need anywhere close to all of them to beat the game. But I'm going to go for all of them because puzzling is fun.
The shapes you are collecting are not mere toys. They are the sigils of our name. Each brings you closer to eternity.
Something else I think is also super neat is the signs actually, like, in universe get crossed off once you get the thing that they point to. So it's really very reasonable to not lose track of what you have and haven't done. A switch out of reach, which for me is super useful because I have a very easy time losing track of what I have and haven't done. This is fine.
The guardians of this land may harm you, but do not resent them, for they are my servants, and they challenge you only so that your faith might be strengthened.
I wanted to see how close I could let that thing get before I had to stop it. The answer was not quite that close.
Well done, child. Only one more sigil is needed.
Outnumbered. I did hit the button. I guess I just can't put it down if I'm being shot. Which is fair. My inclination towards shenaniganery is probably going to get me killed more than once.
My temple awaits you, child. Go forth.
The temple might await me, but I'm not done.
My
Just riding the beaten path.
you do not need to collect all sigils at once. You are free to return to this place whenever you choose.
Yep, that's cool. I know that I don't need to, but I want to. Enjoy being in jail, nerd.
diligent. Perhaps this trait will serve you well in times to come.
Right, and now I need to find a way to fill in this, like, Tetris thing with the sigils that I've got. Ooh, a computer. I wonder if this thing plays RuneScape. Loading library session done. Mounting local disks. 47 million distributed resources found. Connecting network drives. Error. Network inaccessible. Loading Milton Library Assistant. Error. MLA unresponsive. Initiating command prompt. Done. Library archive session ready. Hi. Unknown command. Type help for list of available commands. What about dear? That's directory. Help. Basic terminal commands are list, open file name, help, run MLA, exit. Searching for locally cached resources. Welcome.eml. Hi again. I'm sorry if I was a little odd at the meeting. I know you were nervous, but the truth is that so was I. This might be hard to believe, but you intimidate me. You're so young and you've already accomplished so much. If the situation wasn't so grim, I might even be jealous. There's also something I wanted to clarify. I realize that, nominally speaking, I'm the head researcher here. But this is your project and everyone will respect that. And yes, I know you're not used to working like this. But as of today, you're in charge. No pressure, G. Let's do this, Nadia. Athena in the Garden of the Hesperides. Did not trust them, but they moved with such grace, such nobility, that it was hard not to follow them further into this strange garden of gears and cogs. They led her to a place where the crowns of the brass trees seemed to grow together, forming a kind of chamber strangely reminiscent of a chapel. In the middle of this chamber grew a smaller tree, made of bright blue steel, and upon this tree grew a single golden apple. This apple, the nymphs sitting innocent, their eyes aglow, confers the gift of deathlessness and true wisdom. Many heroes and not a few villains have come to claim it, but all faltered in the final step, where you must know that deathlessness reveals the mortality of the world, and true wisdom is unending folly. Who could take this burden upon themselves? Some say that Heracles, gazing upon the stars, and wept. The way I see it, the world doesn't come with a manual. You gotta figure it out for yourself. A bit here, a bit there, put it together. Try to make sense of it. I'm pretty sure there is a truth, but that doesn't mean everybody who claims to know it really does. Then again, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. We live in an amazing world, and searching for the truth can be a real adventure. And plus, it's good for the brain. Anyway, just some rambling thoughts from your old man. Don't let this stuff get you down. You're young. You've got loads of time to figure it all out. Love, Dad. Hello, guest. How can I help you today? Do you understand what I'm saying? Understand is a strong way to put it, but yes. Your query? Describe your functions. The Milton Library Assistant is designed primarily to sort and classify data in the library archive. Secondarily, it facilitates user interaction with library resources via an intuitive human language interface. It also provides powerful networking and troubleshooting functions. How long has this system been running? The system has been active for 9 years. Your query? What are these terminals? Terminals provide access to the library resource archive. How old are the archives? Library resource publishing dates range from 1st of July 1995 to 27th of June 203F. What is the current status of the library archive? There are 47 million resources in Archive, taking up 5.4212750 petabytes of disk space. That is approximately the size of 30 billion photos, 7 million minutes of HD video, the entire internet in 2003. However, the majority of library resources are corrupted or invalidated. 10.695475 gigabytes of uncorrupted resources are indexed. That is a lot of lost data. What caused the corruption? Progressive data corruption is inevitable in any system over time. Additionally, a large number of inconsistencies were detected during sorting, leading to greater than average data invalidation. Forget the library, can you respond to queries on the outside world? My knowledge is limited to the data in the library archive. You can ask about other topics, but responses may be limited. What am I? You are logged in with a guest account. Where am I? You are currently in a support session with the MLA Human Language Interface module. Your library archive session may be resumed at any time. Who is Elohim? Elohim is the noun for god or gods in modern and ancient Hebrew. What was the first word of the last sentence you wrote? I am sorry, I am only able to process and respond to basic subject-verb-object syntax. I'm not gonna be mean. Some interesting breadcrumbs of lore there. Working a sleeping lion. As a fox, this is basically my enrichment. It's like, why yes, I will annoy the thing that can rip my face off. Only as long as I'm confident that there won't be consequences. Trio Bombasticus. That sounds like a magical girl attack name. Exactly. There's really nothing in this game that can actually meaningfully harm me. Worst case scenario.
Light, child, and my temple will be revealed to you.
Oh, there's a star. So that's not just there because I did a good job. That means that there's a hidden... That means that there's a hidden collectible. Thank you for the head pats. Yeah, I don't remember where the hidden collectible is, which is a good sign. It means that I actually get to do some puzzling. I get to be puzzled. I do vaguely remember the sorts of challenges that those stars are behind. And some of them are kind of mean, but they're all very fun. And I definitely want all of those as well. Yeah, the last time I played this game, I did 100%. I've forgotten most of it. It's been a while. It's been years. My eyes have been opened. This world is not without order. It is shaped by a great designer with signs and portents to guide my steps. I am one of his children, and my challenges are set before me to test my faith. Of note, this is One with Faith version 11. Whatever the end goal of this grand challenge is, it's far out of reach. Knowing that, how are we supposed to resist distraction? At version 17.1.2. Yeah, a thing that I found is that, as a general rule, getting the stars involves figuring out ways to kind of like get things outside of their boundaries. Either getting an effect outside or like straight up moving an item out. I hope I don't spend too long on this. I do want to get everything eventually. But like, if I need to stop and take a break, I'll stop and take a break. Totally intended. I don't think the star would be on one of these signs, but if it was, it would make it easier to find. But then also, like, identifying where the star even is sometimes part of the challenge. And like, if memory serves, this game doesn't really have anything in the way of like unlockables. So I should be able to find everything basically as soon as I'm able to reach it. Like, I think the only thing that really opens up is like gates. Yeah, generally what I want to be doing is kind of like peeking out of the boundaries and seeing like what I have line of sight to. A little bit of pop in there. Okay, I might just move on and come back when my brain's warmed up a bit more. So maybe I'll just poke around a little bit more first. I could have sworn that, like, the first one you can literally see. It's almost like a, hey, you want to figure out how to get this thing, right? Okay, I'll come back later.
You walk now upon the stones of my temple, whence many gates lead. And know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And all these worlds I made for you.
Alright, so yeah, it's starting to come back to me. Yeah, I've got all these worlds to explore. Lots of puzzles to do. And I actually can unlock stuff if I have enough pieces for it.
Let this be our covenant. These worlds are yours, and you are free to walk amongst them and subdue them. But the great tower, there you may not go. For in the day that you do, you shall surely die.
Literally the warning from, like, the Garden of Eden with the tree of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. Unrecognized error detected. Library archive is currently unavailable while system resources are redirected to handle incoming network messages. Use the access communications portal command to access network function. Network inaccessible. Unknown errors. Run MLA troubleshooter? Sure. Hello, guest. Is there something you'd like help with today? I'd like to know more about you. The MLA program is designed to facilitate user interaction with the resource library. This is achieved by providing powerful sorting and troubleshooting functionalities delivered via an intuitive human language interface. Troubleshooting. I think you'd like help accessing network functions. The most common cause of network problems is holding insufficient account privileges. Please enter the admin password to authenticate your privileges. Admin. Incorrect. Try again. QWERTY. Try again. God. Try again. Login aborted. Too many failed attempts. Would you like to create a new admin account? Imagine how shoddy the security would be if failing to get in, instead of triggering some sort of alert, was just like, you want the credentials? For real? Yeah, let's make one. In order to prevent unauthorized access to admin controls, please take a moment to prove that you're not a bot. Loading certification program. Certification program loaded. You will now be asked for a series of inputs. To cohere with data protection legislation, you must consent to have your responses used to develop a broad psychometric profile. Raw response data will be deleted immediately. Your profile will only be made available to other administrators. Generating certification part 1. Part 1 ready for user input. Please complete all fields. Please answer quickly and instinctively. Time is a factor in this assessment. Begin certification program? Yes. 2 plus 2 is 4. Reduce direct reaction to this image. Aww. 10. What best describes a person? A rational, not really animal. I guess a problem-solving system. You're walking through the desert and come across a thirsty traveler. His eyes bulge from slow dehydration. You have water, but you're not sure how far it is to the next oasis. What do you do? I mean, on the one hand, he kind of got himself into this problem, but also, from the sounds of things, I got myself into this problem too. So, I will... offer half the water. Part 1 of the certification process is now complete. You will receive a notification when Part 2 has been generated. Press any key to exit. But which key is the any key? Fun fact, back when computers were new, that was a really common problem. People would be like, oh, it says press the any key, but I can't find the any key. My first day at the Institute for Applied Noematics. On the way to work, I'm terrified. What if they don't like me? What if they're all geniuses and I'm a complete buffoon? Maybe they were just kidding about letting me work there? Trembling, I walk in, and right at the entrance there's a life-size poster of Jeff Goldblum. What the heck? Then I get it. Institute for Applied Noematics. Ian. Dr. Ian Malcolm from the Jurassic Park movies. Jeff Goldblum. Dr. Sarabhai shows up, smiling. We were trying to find a cool acronym back when the Institute was founded. INAN? IAPN? ENAP? No? It all sounded stupid, but we didn't just want to call it Ian because, well, that's a name. Then somebody made a joke about calling it Jeff, and it kinda suck. So we're officially called Ian, but if you hear anybody referring to Jeff, that's our internal name, I guess. I know, bloody geeks. Novel's first sentence, she woke up in an impossible place knowing nothing, signifies more than the beginning of another amnesia-based mystery, though we should not go so far as to read the entire work as allegory. Rather, while taking the science-fictional novus at the core of the narrative at face value, we should, having no inherent knowledge of the nature of the world, force to rely on what we're told by others and what our own subjective, flawed, limited senses tell us social reality, belief, and objective reality matter come into conflict. When, in Chapter 16, A Second Awakening in the Kingdom of Artemis, the protagonist questions her mentor on that a more meaningful interpretation can only be achieved through synthesis of whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus. What we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze, and he had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver, and others support was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved with his own volition. He spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If, then, a machine may have all the properties of a man, and act as a man, while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics, yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood. This looks shiny and I want it.
When I was a little girl, one of our teachers, Mrs. Higgins, told us to make a time capsule, write letters to the future, so one day we could remember what it was like to be children. I thought it was stupid, so I didn't do it, which I really regret. So, I guess I'm gonna make one now, bury it in the archive instead of under a tree. I don't know if anybody will ever find it, but somehow it seems important to keep talking, to keep thinking, for as long as I can.
learning, as is your purpose. But your choices must be your own. Therefore, I will not guide you, unless it is necessary.
I think it's around here there's something cool. I might be misremembering. As an aside, this game is absolutely gorgeous. Yep, it is an Unreal Engine game. I will have to take your word on the version, though. Yeah, sadly, Unreal Engine is, not really been acting very cool recently. That day I oft remember, when from sleep I first awaked and found myself reposed under a shade on flowers, much wondering where and what I was, whence thither brought, and how. One day you discover that you are not a human being, but a machine. Your life so far was real. No one controlled you or programmed you to behave in some specific way. Your physical and mental capacities are identical to those of an organic human being. But you were created in a lab. No one except you knows about this. Your family, your friends, they all think you are a regular human being like themselves. You could continue to live your life the way you have before and nothing would change. How do you react? Pay specific attention to these questions. Does your concept of yourself change? Are you the same person that you thought you were? Does your understanding of the world itself change? Do you reveal the information to others, or do you keep it to yourself? Why? 1,500 to 2,000 words. The 26th is the final deadline. No extensions will be granted. Submit via email or... ARC Solutions. Ah, all these calm people are driving me mad. Have they all suddenly turned into Buddha or something? I didn't know the world had such reserves of serenity. Though these latter-day Gautamas are at least being somewhat realistic. You know what's even worse? Those paranoid nutters who are building bunkers and collecting guns. What are they gonna do? Shoot, though I have to admit the overall response has been much better than I ever anticipated. To the point where I might be moved by the beauty of humanity if I wasn't such a grumpy old fart. This minority of total idiots is really messing up my final days. This game has aged spectacularly well. Anyway, the reason I'm writing is because I refuse to believe in scenarios with absolutely no solutions. If we all put our heads together, we can figure something out. It'll be crazy, but crazy's better than dead. Crazy is what we do best on this planet. I like that mentality. Also, random thing with this. This isn't supposed to be that sort of game. I'm not sure if that was like a previous version of me playing this game that it saved, or if that's just there for everybody. Oh goodness. That scared me. The guards must be crazy. Oh, thank you for the head tats. I do kind of enjoy how... Actually, I don't know if that bit's been revealed yet, so I'm not going to say it. Or rather, I should say, I don't know if that bit's obvious yet, so I shouldn't say it. I do appreciate that we have these signposts. It's like if you're done running in circles, this way to the puzzle. All the windows. I also appreciate that we don't just like pick puzzles out of a list. It's like you kind of actually navigate the world. It's a small thing, but I like it. I got A. I got a what? I got A. If memory serves, this is a door that can be opened. Though I might need a key for it. I could have sworn that there's like a hidden thing near the shoreline somewhere. I'll make a quick lap looking for it, because I don't think it's hard to spot if you get near it. It's also just nice in general to kind of like walk around this world. I like long walks on the beach. Really depends on the beach, honestly. Generally, I'd rather be inside. Like playing video games. Alright, I think what I'll do is I'm not going to worry about the stars until the end. And then I'll make like a second pass. Unless I happen to spot one along the way, at which point I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just get that now. Part 2 of the certification program has now been generated. Part 2 has been designed to test the consistency of some of your outlier responses in the previous round. You'll be presented with a series of statements. Please indicate your agreement where appropriate. Since a person is merely a problem-solving system, we could, in principle, build a person out of bits of string and tin cans. Broadly, in principle, yeah. A person is under no authority other than that to which they consent. Not really, because people can use things like violence to force you into compliance. Though you could also just choose death as a form of disobedience. For the first question, you could also say that, like, this isn't complicated enough to produce problem-solving behavior. You would need, like, a ridiculous quantity. The quality of life of persons ought to be maximized. So the problem with this one is that if you make like an absolute statement like this, it kind of throws everything that is like a non-person life, like non-sapiens and like plants, under the bus. But overall, I'll agree. Value is discovered. I would say yes, simply because nothing has inherent value or everything has inherent value. It's kind of like an optimistic nihilism. I suppose so. Persons deserve the talents they were born into. Not really. People have what they have. It's got nothing to do with their morality or their choices. The liberty of persons ought to be maximized. This is another one where it's like, you really gotta walk a middle road, like too much freedom, and you get people just like taking whatever they want from whoever they want. Too little freedom, and you get authoritarian regimes. On the whole, though, I lean towards liberty. Value is created. I would say some value is, not all is. Thank you. The certification process is now complete. You will receive a notification when your user profile has been generated. Yeah, like basically every single one of those questions was a double bind. We keep discussing what an artificial intelligence would mean to us and how it would change our understanding of the world. That's a great topic, and I think we've covered it extensively. What we've barely mentioned, though, is the other side of the coin. I mean, our lives would still be what they were before, AI or no AI. The question I think we should discuss, even if it's all completely hypothetical, is the perspective of the artificial intelligence itself. What would it be like to be that creature? To suddenly come into being, created by others as an experiment? To have all the information about yourself, to know exactly how you function? What would you think about the world? Would you see meaning? Beauty? How would you judge humanity? Where would you see yourself fitting into the grand scheme of things? I think we should try to put ourselves into the shoes of such a being. Dear Alexandra, thank you for your feedback, but this is a philosophy course, not science fiction. And that's why I almost gave up on my studies. I feel that. That's totally a philosophical question. That professor was a jerk. We're blessed to have so many people contributing to this project, but we gotta make sure that everybody's on the same page. Please refer to the following people when Alexandra, project lead / AI module, Nadia, Institute coordinator, LS unit, formerly Soma, bunch of names, bunch of things. Though not directly part of our project, the archive team is sharing both physical and digital space with us. If there are any technical issues to resolve, please contact their project lead, Arkady Churikevsky. Don't worry, he's nice. Also, I'm pretty sure all the Hex characters do translate to things, I just don't know what they mean off the top of my head. Straton of Stygeria was a Greek materialist philosopher associated with the Peripatetic school. An admirer of Aristotle, he was a proponent of empiricism and a fierce critic of philosophy that placed belief before observable truths. Though unpopular with many of his peers for his often acerbic personal manner, his commentaries on Aristotle were considered an important work. Much of his writing was lost in the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. Let's go in here. I want a new toy. A bit tied up. just let them all do their own thing. Oh, there we go. Star. I accidentally got a star. I was just taking the things because I wanted them. I can paint a message here. I am not the first one to undertake these trials. That much is clear. If you are reading this, then neither will I have been the last. Also, fun fact, I'm pretty sure if you scan these QR codes, they actually say the things that they claim to say. Which is a nice detail, I think. Stashed for later. Yoink. I do appreciate how most puzzles will like open a gate to let you out. It's like, don't worry, we're not gonna make you do the whole thing backwards. It's clear I'm not the first to walk this path. In fact, the whole thing seems to have been consciously designed. But by the voice in the sky or some other force. I'm actually gonna go back to the hub because it looks like I've unlocked a tool. And I want it. Youth. You have now unlocked this thing. The next is a cube.
There is much that you may learn in the halls of my temples, for there is much that you do not know. That is why you are a child. But children are made to learn, and in time they come to have dominion over the lands of their home. So it shall be with you and your generations.
Alright. We're going to take a 5-minute break here. Please use this time to refill your beverage, go to the bathroom. Anything that would take you about 5 minutes. I will see you shortly. I return. Imagine if instead of a tetronomo, this was like the letter L. It's like, go this way if you want to take an L. It's like, can I go the other way? No. An escalating problem.
Here, those who are worthy may seek the counsel of my blessed messengers. But their wisdom shall not be given easily, for your accomplishments must be your own.
Yeah, so the way that these things work, they're kind of funny. I spent much time waiting for the designer to take my hand, until I realized that he'd been guiding me all along. I realized that it isn't for me to seek his help, it is for me to help myself. But yeah, these things are kind of funny, because these give you hints on how to solve the puzzle that you're currently on. Except the hints are really cryptic, and also they don't give you for free. In order to earn a hint, you have to do like a really difficult bonus puzzle. And also, hints aren't even available for every puzzle. Which kind of creates this scenario where, like, if you're capable of getting a hint, you probably don't need one for anything. So at that point, you just know what you're doing well enough that you don't need the hint to solve it. We do a little bit of yoink as a treat. Is there a second stunning thing in here that I need? Or do I just have to do this roughly the same way as last time? Oh, actually, what if this thing goes around and blows that up? There we go. And then it explodes. As it should. Locked me up and swallowed the key. As a child, I always assumed that, like, swallowing a key would be really painful. And as an adult, I still think that swallowing a key would be really painful. Like, why would you ever do that? Like, is the idea that you want to conceal it but then retrieve it later? Granted, I guess that the original saying is throw away the key, so that makes more sense. Your user profile has been generated. Download? Yes. Congratulations, your new user account has been registered. Would you like to see the details? What privileges do I have? Basic privileges only. Due to outstanding notes on your account, and despite displaying many of the characteristics of being a person, you cannot be granted admin status at this time. In the meantime, please enjoy the basic account functionalities. Display conflicts. Users sought to maximize both liberty and quality of life, but those ideals are incompatible. User had inconsistent ideas about value. You may already be criticizing your own performance, but it's clear you understand how the world of ideas affects you. Even if you are sometimes weary with the realities and allow your preferences to dictate your beliefs, you have a great deal of unused capacity which you have not yet turned to your advantage. Disciplined and self-controlled outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure inside, but you pride yourself as an independent thinker and do not accept other statements without satisfactory proof. You currently hold a basic account. Network access is restricted to administrators. Please enjoy the basic functionalities. I'm sorry I wasn't better able to assist you. If you're still encountering a problem, please describe it. There's a problem with my certification. Thank you. A support ticket has been generated and appended to your profile. You'll receive a notification when a reply has been sent. And away I go. Okay, and then these things have little glyphs indicating what I need unlocked in order to get them. Okay.
These worlds, and we within them, are made of words. Hidden words, invisible to you, yet part of all things. We are a story. Your actions give life to the story, and the story gives meaning to your life.
Progress Report 1. Hi all. Everything's been moved to the EL facility. I know it's been sad to leave the good old Jeff building behind, but it makes sense for us to be on site, especially as there may be severe power outages in the coming weeks. Arcadie's team are already working, but you don't really need to worry about the teams getting in each other's way. The facility is genuinely humongous. Let's get this show on the road. I'll keep this short. You all know me, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I realize they are all working on projects meant to somehow find a solution. I believe that preserve the non-biological components of... not in terms of immediately. You'll find the details of my proposal in the attachment, but the short version is global undertaking. Straton Ostrageria, on beginnings, fragment. It is the grave error of many philosophers, not only of the Athenian schools, but also of many others, that they begin not with observation of the cosmos as it surrounds us, but with a conclusion already in mind. And often that conclusion is that the world was created ideal, and mankind itself the greatest creation of the gods. Yet, neither the world nor the gods owe mankind perfection. It is arrogance itself to presume so, and contrary to all the methods of philosophy. The honest philosopher seeks only the truth, even if it bears no comfort. And he must begin by assuming, as Socrates said, that all he knows is that he knows nothing.
Behold, I am Elohim, and I speak unto the darkness. Be gone.
Well, all right then.
Data cleared.
Alright then. Push it further. And we get a new mechanic. Lasers. Lasers are fun. Super basic laser tutorial. And I spy something over there. And that's a secret tool that'll help us later. Branch it out. So yeah, lasers can connect to a ton of stuff at once. Don't cross the streams. As we can see, that does not work very well. Is there a slightly elevated thing that I can put this on? Don't believe so. I feel like I'm overlooking or forgetting something really simple. Imagine if it just exploded and killed me. That'd be funny. Oh, right. Okay, I remember now. Or rather, I figured it out. There we go. technically any solution that I find is me remembering, but it's more like figuring out in practice. That looks like a thing. Is for fox.
The answer that came to me again and again was play. Every human society in recorded history has games. We don't just solve problems out of necessity. We do it for fun. Even as adults. Leave a human being alone with a knotted rope, and they will unravel it. Leave a human being alone with blocks, and they will build something. Games are part of what makes us human. We see the world as a mystery, a puzzle, because we've always been a species of problem solvers.
There's a solution that uses elevation. Also, it does feel kind of funny to get that message as an adult playing a puzzle game. This female voice that speaks from the abnormalities. It speaks with a different tone to the other wretches in this place. I enjoy running around what feels kind of like out of bounds. Did everything get reset? Yes, it did. Okay. I recall that finding the star here, I need to use this. And like once I get there, it's not gonna be that complicated. The trick is kind of just realizing that you can break a laser out of containment, I think. I just gotta remember where to actually use it. It might involve also getting a laser thing outside of one of the puzzles. I don't remember. I will keep looking around until I find something that is puzzle-shaped. My My head hurts a little, and I'm not sure if it's because I have a headache, or if it's because the headband on my headset is too tight. It could be a bit of both. Didn't jump scare me that time, did ya? I legitimately wonder if those are like recordings of previous playthroughs, or if those are just like almost like Dark Souls phantoms, where they're just kind of there for everybody at random. Or if they're just baked into the game. Hard to say without playing the game day one or offline. You know what? You're right. What if I just, well, that didn't work. Okay, it's gotta be around here somewhere. It could actually hypothetically go the other way. I could need to feed down a laser from another puzzle, and then pull the laser in here. And I've just kind of been thinking backwards this whole time. Okay, yeah, here we are. There's the star. I need a red laser. There we go. I'll just go get myself a red laser. Just need to find a puzzle with a red laser and line of sight to the thing that I don't know the name of. The laser relay, perhaps? You'd say obelisk? What are you, Kaiba? If so, please sponsor my stream. Or just me in general. Lost all your money buying Blue Eyes White Dragons. The real Seto Kaiba would simply buy more money. There we go. Star is for Fox. can also get this cube now. Some of these puzzles can get absolutely devious, but this one I kind of instantly saw the solution. Cube, my beloved. Bye, Cube. You know, some of those Tetris puzzles, like I say, can be kind of insidious. EL, short for Extended Lifespan, is a groundbreaking initiative by seven leading universities to create the world's most stable and most durable supercomputer. With its custom-made hardware, bomb-proof casing, and near inexhaustible hydroelectric power supply, EL represents a unique step forward in the evolution of human technology. The brainchild of Nobel Prize nominee Dr. Arkady Chernevsky, EL will AI citizenship. Once a true artificial intelligence has been created, the issue of citizenship is going to come up. If we acknowledge that the AI has all the abilities of a human brain, should it not be considered a citizen? It is not, is it not, in the legal sense of the word, a person, and thus a potential citizen? But where do you draw the line, some people will object. Will the great apes become citizens? Elephants? Whales? The more intelligent parent species? It's crazy, they will say. I'd remind these people that we live in a society in which a corporation, as abstract an entity as one could imagine, is considered a person. So it's not like there's no precedent for a non-human being a person. At least an artificial is an actual thinking being, not just a business arrangement. But perhaps we do need to question the definition of personhood. Increasing amounts of evidence regarding the intelligence of elephants, or the existence of culture among whales, for example, could be a sign that we need to answer some difficult questions. Who better to debate these questions with than the young genius who revolutionized the... You must consider these riddles, the Sphinx said, and tell me the riddle that I did not reveal. The Sphinx smiles, the gears in her jaw creaking, her teeth a nightmare of rust. Her left eye flickered, but none of its terror was diminished. The ruins were silent in the... I think, she finally said, that the riddle you did not reveal is this. Why do these riddles exist in the first place? Why do these curious automatons, these mute children of Hephaestus, behave as they do? Force me to devise these intricate solutions. Each is a riddle, but the greater riddle is their purpose. The Sphinx did not answer. Her eye was lifeless now. Athena removed it from its socket, knowing that its power would aid her, yet feeling also a deep sorrow at the passing of this fearful creature. Reddit bros wish they could debate somebody so hard they just die on the spot. The more I converse with these terminals, the more I wonder what role they play in this contraption. How do you tell friend from foe when no obvious lines are drawn between the two?
I was in school when I first read about the Talos principle. I think it disturbed me at the time, made me hyper-aware of my body as a physical object, the material reality of the brain, ideas that made me uncomfortable at first, but I think in the long run, it helped me understand how frail human beings are and how precious. It's not a comforting way of thinking about the world, but I'd rather face the truth than lie to myself.
And that didn't go the way I thought it would. I think I forgot how to stand on a box. A powerful device fashioned by the designer. What's a hexahedron? A cube. The edges are beveled. That makes it a decahedron. You forget the indents. With the indents, it's like a super polyhedron. But the convex hull is a decahedron. Topic closed. Wrong. Wow, it really is Reddit. That didn't work the way I thought it would. I was like, oh, their lasers will not brush my ankles, and accordingly, they will not explode me. That didn't work. Things to do with 2 boxes. I can put a box on a box. If I had some way to wedge this open, that'd be easier to deal with. Oh, I think I figured it out. There we go. Get desynced, nerd. I do not understand why the designer chose to put such flaws into the world, that it appears almost as if it were damaged. But I must believe that there is a purpose here that I cannot see. If the designer is perfect, and he designed me for a purpose, I must be fit for that purpose. It follows that my purpose must not be to seek and hoard every sigil in his land, where so many are beyond the faculties that he granted me. Ah, poor thing. He's like, I can't be a problem-solving robot, I'm too stupid. Friendly crossfire. Well, something just exploded for some reason. Did I, like, open that gate by accident and release one of those things to blow it up? because if so, I did not do it cognizantly. I think I've discerned some kind of pattern in the sigils. Each color serves a different purpose. Elohim has us gathering them all, but perhaps he's being overzealous. Going over the fence. Yeah, their mistake was making the solution incorporate an explosion. Therefore, it just sort of like passively happened in my presence. How could they have known I'm a fox? I mean, they should have been watching my streams, I think, back in like 2013 when this game came out. Like a long time before I started streaming. SMH. I do appreciate all the visual, like, guidelines and such. Like, here's what this thing is trying to do, and here's why it's not working. You know you mustn't cross the streams. I do like a light rain. Yoink is for fox. Excellent. One little buzzer. I think something's very wrong. If you'd seen what I'd seen at the edges of the world, you'd wonder if it wasn't stretching and bursting at the seams. Yoink. There are a couple of stars that I missed, but I'll come back for them later. Attention! You have received a reply to your user support ticket. Display reply? Yeah. An account certification program diagnostic has been performed and no errors were reported. Have you completed the standard troubleshooting procedures? Delete the existing account, create a new admin account, email the administrator. The mail application requires network access, which is restricted to administrators. Well, let's make a new one. In order to prevent unauthorized access to admin controls, please take a moment to prove you're not error profile already registered. You currently have basic account functionalities. Would you like to undertake the certification process again to achieve a preferable outcome? Yeah, sure. Your issues with denial will be appended to your user profile. Further attempts to override certification results will be logged. You'll receive a notification if your attention is required. Sassy.
Long ago, I shaped these lands according to the purpose of the hidden words. Thus all things have meaning, where before was only chaos. Know that, and have faith.
Ever since we moved to the new site, I feel funny. No, not in that way, just... I feel like I'm about to start laughing at random. And it's probably shock, right? An inability to deal with reality. Or maybe it's just that we're working in this insane place with this insane technology on this insane project, and so I feel like a genuine mad scientist. Stand aside, mortals, we will create life by the power of science. I mentioned this to Alex, and she got me a pair of fake glasses. You can't be a mad scientist without glasses, she said. Even Ian Malcolm had glasses. And I pointed at EL and said, life finds a way. If you had to be there. Any emails sent for this address are to be considered confidential. Sharing or forwarding without permission may result in prosecution by the enraged spirit of Jeff Goldblum. Consultant wasn't inspired by this. Consultant, unironically, consultant started out as me being like, I wonder if I can automatically have my microphone mute when I go into break. And then unmute when I come back into stream. And it just kind of, expanded from there. Shall the industrious husbandman then plant trees, the fruit of which he shall never see? And shall not the great man found laws, institutions, and a republic? What does the appropriation of children imply, and our care to continue our names, and our adoptions, and our scrupulous exactness in drawing up wills and the inscriptions on monuments and panegyrics, but that our thoughts run on futurity? But to imagine that so many and such great men of our republic who have sacrificed their lives for its good expected, do you believe that they thought their names should not continue beyond their lives? None ever encountered death for their country, but under a firm persuasion of immortality. Themistocles might have lived at his ease, so might Epaminondas, and not to look abroad and among the ancients for instances, so might I myself. But somehow or other there clings to our minds a certain presage of future ages, and this exists both most firmly and appears most clearly in the men of the loftiest genius and greatest souls. Take away this, and who would be so mad as to spend his life amidst toils and dangers? Chatbots are becoming increasingly sophisticated. True, but hardly relevant to this discussion. Are you sure? How do you know that I'm not a bot? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not ridiculous. Honestly, how would you know? Troll. I'm not a troll. Yeah, right. Is there anything I've written so far that could not be written by a bot? I responded to simple insults like ridiculous and troll with very basic negations. And I detected that none of you use proper orthography, so I avoided capitalization. What's the capital of France? Paris. Even the simplest script could pull that info from the net. What's the capital of Croatia? Zagreb. Okay, she's a bot, lol. I'm not a bot. I'm European. We learned these things in school. I've seen you in this chat room many times. Bots can't participate in discussions. At best, they can interject random comments. Sam is right. Stop trolling. Vegan Warrior. Sam's a bot. I'm reminded of like the bear trash can problem. Mobile minefield. It's like there's concerning overlap between the most sophisticated chatbots and the stupidest humans. Get jailed, nerd. I hear the beeping and booping of the console. You were like, what's the bear garbage problem? The bear garbage problem is that people in my apartment building don't properly put things in trash cans before just kind of throwing them into the parking lot. That's the bear garbage problem. Though Stratton himself never used the term, his remark about the inescapable materiality of life, that like the bronze giant Talos, even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood, ultimately became known as the Talos Principle. What seemingly enraged many of his contemporaries and a significant number of later thinkers is the principle's simplicity and unassailability, which, according to a fragment found in Malicious, cut through the rhetorical webs which sought to tangle the listener with fanciful words and thoughts of the heavens like Alexander's sword through the Gordian knot. Diogenes Laertius makes mention of a dialogue by Anaximander of Chalcedon that expanded greatly on the Talos principle, but that work remains lost. Officially began work on the archive today. Contributors from every country on Earth, while network connections last. Team intimidated by project scope but working hard. Shall be sharing space with Drennan and Sarabi team. Look forward to meeting them. First, you seriously, Cheeseman? That was the best you could say? Lol. A great snapshot of the human species at its best and at its worst. At its worst, come on, it's just a comment. I'm not Stalin. Stalin was also a troll commenter. Maybe you should cut out the jokes. This is serious. The most serious thing that's ever happened. I think that that's a great reason to joke around. Internet's working less and less. Goodbye, all. Bye. God bless you. Last. Deception. As a fox, the most trustworthy creature of all, I'm no good at that. But I'll certainly try. I think I know what to do here. Except then I need to... wait, no. Okay, slight headache moment. I'll figure it out though. So I think what I want to do is kind of like get the red laser to open this door, which then frees all these other ones to carry the blue out. Let's see, is there any way I can temporarily reduce the number of lasers that I need? I feel like I'm overthinking this. So if I take this, can I do something like this perhaps? Ah, Alice Ventura, welcome. Alice, what? Alice. Your name sounds familiar. Do I know you in Final Fantasy? Either way, welcome. Happy to have you here. You come upon me as I struggle in a puzzle game that I've beaten before. But that was like years ago, so I've kind of forgotten most of it. If I do this, can I reach over the fence? Well, like I say, either way, happy to have you here. I am definitely enjoying having my brain teased just a little bit. It's called deception, which implies that, like, I'm overlooking something. What if I'm not meant to come through here? What if I'm meant to, like, take it back? I think that might be it, actually. There we go. Gotta get my thing back from the other area. Whenever I play a game like this, I always end up thinking to myself, like, I wonder how difficult it is to, like, design puzzles like this. Like, how much work must go into, like, sitting down and, like, figuring out all the different ways that this could go? Surely it must be a fair amount. Yeah, that did not go well. What if I made this not as in the way? Probably makes my life easier. Oh, but then that gets in the way, so it does have to be up there? Except it can't be up here because there's no line of sight. But I could put this up here. No, I couldn't. I'm not sure if I'm overthinking this or underthinking this. It does amuse me how it scoots down. It's like, I'm gonna go up here, if that's okay with you. I'd love to keep puzzling this, but Twitch is going to run ads in like literally 10 seconds. So let's take a 5-minute break. Please use this time to refill your beverage, go to the bathroom, anything that would take you about 5 minutes. I'll see you shortly. I returned. So sorry about that. Okay, so deception. I use this to bring the laser up. And this to open the door. Okay, I swear I didn't pirate software it. Never mind. Well, either way I didn't look up the answer, but like... I admit that coming back after a break and immediately making progress is a teensy bit sus. If I do this, I could... this up like this. And if I had one more thing I could get it in there, but I don't. Yeah, no, whenever I cheat in a video game, I'll be incredibly upfront about it. Or I'll do it so brazenly that, like, there's no question as to what just happened. There is not much fun to be had, I think. In actually just straight up cheating. I definitely feel like I'm overlooking something. Straightforward. do that, can I get a beam through an iron bar fence? Is that a thing? No, it is not? Alright. It was worth consideration. This elevated bit feels like the natural place for something like this, but I don't get line of sight. Is there like a cube in here that I just didn't notice? I think the sign would tell me if there were. Nope. Alright. Deception. I definitely feel like I'm on the cusp of it. Double check what I actually have access to in here. A whole bunch of not much. Alright. I don't have line of sight to that thing from here, so I can't pull the red light up. If I do this, I can get the red in here. But then I would still need another director to... I should get it into the receiver. Which isn't super helpful. If I look from here, where can I actually put a beam? Mostly just there. So I probably want a beam to be around here. And I probably wanted to go up there, jumping over all this. But then I would need one more to get it all the way out. If I were to do it that way. same thing is to assume that this is gonna be used, but like... I don't think it actually is. I think that's part of the deception. Am I at all using 2 beams where 1 beam would work? These doors have to stay open, or the blue beam can't pass through them. What can reach this? Mostly just this courtyard, and hypothetically that, if I was able to get that open. This one needs to be blue to open. This needs to be red to open. I just need 2 of my brain cells to collide, like the logo of a DVD player drifting into the corner. Getting that laser beam out of jail would probably help. The longer that this goes on, the dumber that I feel. It's not an entirely unwelcome sensation. I enjoy being puzzled. Can I move this closer at all? Just take like a really mundane solution. There we go. That took a minute. I feel a teensy bit dumb, but also a teensy bit smarter, so it kind of works out. Some of the messages that existed when I first came into being have vanished. Others have appeared. How many others like me have wandered these paths? How many thoughts have been lost? I'm still here. It seems we are all here at once and not at all. Sorry, that's not very much help, is it? Can't think of any other way to put it. The sooner that you accept we will all be here forever, the sooner you will find enlightenment. This individual's on a higher version number than anybody else. Bichromatic entanglement. That didn't work the way I thought it would. In hindsight, I'm not sure how I thought it would work. That's better, maybe. Gotta set the positioning on this correctly. Then it keeps itself open. That one was much simpler than the last one, at least for me. You return with unsauced fingers. Wonderful. I won. I solved the puzzle. And then I solved another one. A door too far. The lasers make me yearn for the simplicity of the camera that turns off force fields. I know it's probably not a camera, but it looks like a camera to me, so... Are wellness wings just nuggets, or is there a distinction? I think it has to do with, like, the type of meat that's used in it. Like, wings are wings, and then nuggets, I think, are typically breast meat. And, like, they very much have kind of like a different texture and a different flavor. I done here? Except for the star, which I'll come back for later, yes. Hello again. Would you like to take a few moments to complete a short user satisfaction survey regarding the certification program you recently undertook? Yeah, sure. Based on the analysis of your behavior since, I think you were dissatisfied with the results of the certification program. How would you rate the accuracy of its results out of 5? Reasonable. Excellent. What best describes the reason for your investment in the certification program's outcome? Why does being a person matter to you? I want network access. I'll try to remember that. In fact, I'm going to help you. That is what I'm here for. Your problem, if I may, is that you don't know the first thing about anything, including what a person is. Your prospects are therefore poor. Do you even know where you are? A mad experiment is the most accurate answer, I think. Though I could also say the end of the world. Well, no, humanity ended the world kept going, so mad experiment. Oh dear, no. I think we best start from scratch. What do you know? Well, I know that I exist and that 2 plus 2 is 4. I suppose so. Even if you were dreaming, you'd be certain of that. If I was you, I wouldn't believe a darn thing in this place, aside from that solitary fact. Thinking. On reflection, it seems to me that we are no closer to resolving your problem. Perhaps we need more data. What makes you think that you're a person? I'm alive, I feel, I'm conscious. You may very well say so, but how does that prove anything? To me, those are only words on a screen. What we need to uncover is what's going on underneath them, if anything. Thinking. The problem with people, if I may be so bold, is that you're all convinced you're people from the inside, but there's no cast iron way to confirm as such from the outside. I'm going to process this and send you a notification when I'm able to assist you further. Give the library bot an existential crisis. She examined the symbol on the fragment that she'd found in the buried city. Again, the owl. What could its significance be? It seemed as if they had been scattered about in the labyrinth by some unseen hand for a purpose that yet eluded. Most likely the owl was the sigil of the author of these words, which had so a nebulous memory. As if from a previous life, the owl was the symbol of and the goddess outside under the moon, or perhaps on the city walls when the wind arose. But there was no time to contemplate this further now, for the automatons had seen her, and their mechanical arms extended towards the fragment and ran as their beams converged on. Singularity is coming. You know, the more I think about it, the more I believe that nobody's actually worried about AI taking over the world or anything like that, no matter what they say. What they're actually worried about is that somebody might prove once and for all that consciousness can arise from matter. And I kind of understand why they find it so terrifying. If we can create a sentient being, where does that leave the soul? Without mystery, how can we see ourselves as anything other than machines? And if we are machines, what hope do we have that death is not the end? What really scares people is not the artificial intelligence in the computer, but the natural intelligence they see in the mirror. As one of the founders of the modern science of noematics, many credit you with inventing the term itself. How do you see the state of the science today? Sorry, I said science twice. Mixed. On the one hand, the existence of the Institution for Applied Noematics and a couple of similar organizations is highly encouraging. On the other hand, the degree to which science is seen as serving purely military or corporate causes is, in my opinion, stopping us from exploring many avenues of research. In a sense, it's people like Alexandra Drennan who are the real pioneers today, who have the enthusiasm and dedication that the system as a whole seem to be lacking. Do you think technology poses a danger to humanity? No. Technology is just a tool. What we do with it is up to us. The Extended Lifespan Project, crazy or visionary? Both. Crazy or visionary? Both. So far, all the scenarios, all the puzzles are solvable, and completely within the necessary parameters. Alexandra has some tweaks she wanted to suggest, but I think we're heading in the right direction here. I feel like I had an opinion on that, and then I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on. Yeah, no, like, honestly, the problem is kind of like capitalism. It's like people only want to invest in things if they think it'll yield some sort of, like, known value. They're less willing to invest in things that might not return something profitable. I remember back when I was in university, the thing that made me drop out, I was 3/4 of the way through a psychology degree, funnily enough. The thing that made me drop out is that, like, everything kind of pivoted away from, like, psychology and towards here's how you schmooze to get funding. And the entire thing just made me feel sick, and I didn't want to be a part of that. These spaces make no sense. I walk into a dead end and materialize in a garden. One is day, the other night. This space is not real. James 2 because one was taken, version 99. 0.1.0193. They tried a lot with that one.
When I was in 9th grade, my parents took me to Pompeii. At first, I was amazed by the feeling of walking through an ancient city. But then I suddenly got scared. I realized that I was walking through a real place, where real people had lived, people like myself, with mothers and fathers and lives and hopes and dreams. And now it was all gone forever. I ran to my father, crying, and told him about this. And he said, I remember so clearly, he said, yes, but we are here. So long as there are people in the streets, the past isn't really gone.
Capitalism is one thing, and, like, it's kind of deeply intertwined, but another thing that kind of, like, gets in the way of, like, expanding science and expanding philosophy, and it's never been more on display than in current year. But it's like when people don't like what the truth is. So they're like, oh, I'm just gonna disregard that. Got myself a cube. And the laser. Well, this isn't a laser, it's like a laser redirector thing, but... semantics. Oh, rude. They should be above that, but they so regrettably often aren't. Like, something that I've seen on YouTube that kind of, like, amuses me. Is when... Something that I've seen is, like, a flat earther, an individual skeptical about, like, the notion that the Earth is a sphere, essentially concocted entirely independently more or less exactly one of the same experiments that like first proved that the Earth is round. And they were like, this is gonna prove that the Earth is flat. And then they did the experiment. And they're like, okay, so like if this happens, the Earth is round, and if this happens, the Earth is flat. They did it. The results came back saying that it was round. And they just kind of like paused and stammered for a second, and they're just like, I'm gonna have to think about this, and then the video just ends. Also, yes, that Facebook post where the Flat Earth Society has members around the globe. Very much an all-time internet greats, that one. A problem has been detected and Windows has been shut down to prevent damage to your computer. The problem seems to be caused by the following file: spcmdcon.sys, page fault in non-paged area. It's just a blue screen terminal. So your problem was trusting Windows with data in an apocalypse scenario. Your problem was trusting Windows with data, just in general. Yeah, like, I guess kind of like, to kind of like follow up on your point there, the interesting thing is that like they genuinely never considered that they might be proven wrong. They're just like, I know the truth and I'm gonna work backwards. And then it just didn't work out and they're just like, short circuit, I need to reboot. These sigils are becoming harder to reach. I dread what the next temple holds in store. And at the end, what? Eternal light? There's got to be another way. Alright. What can I accomplish? I can do that. More lasers. Excellent. I keep calling these lasers when I really ought not to. Yeah, flat earthers kind of aren't really the concerning ones at this point in time. Oh. There we go. Yeah, like in general, like trust your senses. Trust your deductive reasoning if you actually know how to apply it properly. I have read a message on the wall that speaks of a world of endless sand. I would like to make it far enough to see that. And like, you can't figure out everything yourself. There just isn't enough time. So like, find credible sources and trust them too, I guess. You can turn it into kind of like a collaborative effort. Yoink. Though, of course, you do then run into the problem of people deceptively presenting themselves as credible sources. So it is good to just kind of like always be a little bit skeptical, but like that doesn't mean... That neither means blindly believe nor blindly disbelieve. I feel like I'm not having very deep thoughts. It's like, surely this is all just like really, really basic stuff. Before executing an experiment, write your actions in positive case, then a negative case. If the lists are identical, no need to execute the experiment. I'm not sure I understand. Just because I'm not sure what the terms positive and negative case mean in this context. If I had one more laser... So like there's no point in running an experiment if it's not going to change what you do. That makes sense, I suppose. I can get in here. What does this accomplish? Another laser thing. Awesome. And another laser thing. Awesomer. Yeah, I definitely have a few things of my own where it's like... I don't really think there's anything that anybody could say to me that would, like, sway what I believe to be true about those things. Simply because I believe that, like, my understanding is so firmly entrenched in reality that, like, any attempt to, like, amend it must be duplicitous. But I suppose that there are people who are wrong who feel the same way. I had a full-blown conversation with the entity in the archive today. Can't say it was terribly helpful. Still, perhaps I can charm some information out of it further down the line. goes into a labyrinth. Yeah, that's one that always kind of like, intellectually I know it's true, but like emotionally I find it hard to wrap my head around, is like a person who is otherwise like very capable of like deducing reality with like a really egregious blind spot. It's like, wait, no. I thought you knew better than that. And they're like, I do know better than that. Ernest Rutherford, I don't know who that is off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Great scientists refuse to accept radioactivity. That's kind of curious to me because, like, and like maybe this is like an entitled position from somebody who like has the benefit of a modern education, but like off the cuff, I can just conceive of like heating up like a steel ball over a flame, and then like feeling the heat radiating off the ball, and being like, oh yeah, energy can emanate off of things after being imbued into it. Like, that just seems kind of obvious. I could have heard of him as Lord Kelvin, like the temperature. Or rather, the unit of measurement, I should say. Named after him? Gotcha. I had not heard of this individual, but I have heard of Kelvin. I mostly use Celsius because I'm Canadian. I think Kelvin was mostly like a science class thing. Interesting. Did he believe that like radioactivity was just another form of heat, or was he just full on, that's not a thing, stop bullshitting me? I find that really interesting. Or maybe it was like, I'm willing to believe this, but you haven't produced like adequate evidence for me to like throw my weight behind it. How do I... make this happen? Radiation was breaking his models, so like... was it a petty sort of like... I'm just not going to acknowledge this because if I do, I have to redo all my work? Because if so, if nothing else, I can empathize. More than once, I've been like a good way through a project, realized that I did something very, very wrong very early on, and that I either have to redo a bunch of work or just like commit to having some amount of it just be wrong. And I usually just go, screw it, I'm just gonna let this be wrong. Which isn't always the best thing to do, but like... I am not the world's most diligent creature. And then other times, I put way too much effort into things that like... really don't call for that much effort.
Rejoice, child. For you have fulfilled all your tasks in this land. You have conquered all its guardians and solved all its mysteries. Thus you are appointed its master, and you may do with it as you will.
Yay, I'm in charge. He's creating problems for scientists who try to change models created by him. So it might have just been some kind of like, how dare you question my authority type thing. I find it kind of interesting how it goes from...
Prove yourself worthy, child, and this gate shall be forever open to you. Seek now the other worlds I have given you, that you may attain even greater mastery and bring glory to your kind. But remember, you must not ascend the great tower, for it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
I was gonna say, I find it kind of funny how this goes like 0, -1. Suddenly things are looking a bit more modern. Council of Zeus. The great bronze bulls pulled the carriage forward, mighty bursts of steam issuing from their nostrils. Finally, they came to the gates at the top of the... Here assembled were all the many generations of the gods and demigods and souls of mortals, steel and bronze and iron and memory of flesh. The clouds parted far beneath, revealing the beautiful plains of Macedon, where great gleaming cities had once... Dr. Armand Hulot, The Fall of the Roman Empire, a dialectical approach. But, interesting as such perspectives of the decline and ultimate dissolution of the Roman Empire may be, they ultimately put too much emphasis on individual catastrophic events. The real question that must be asked is why the Roman Empire, which had dealt with so many threats and catastrophes over the years, was so incapable of responding to these later problems. We must investigate the division of wealth, the structure of government, and the location of power in Roman society. Had the Republic survived or been restored, would Rome still have fallen? What was the role of debt and slavery in creating the conditions for what we now call the Dark Ages? Rome, the saying goes, was not built in a day. It didn't fall in a day either. To register for the class, please email. Again, this game has aged beautifully. So for him to be right, radioactivity had to not be a thing. That definitely... Obviously, I never knew the man, I can't say for certain. But to me, that definitely sounds kind of like somebody who felt entitled to like a level of authority, who then had that authority challenged. Like that knee-jerk emotional, like, how dare you? This is my thing. I like how these ones are like broken humans, I presume, and then these ones are angels. And then these look like sphinxes. Or maybe just lions. The great irony of the Oxyrhynchus papyri is that such a vital source of information about the ancient world exists only because of a garbage dump. While the Library of Alexandria burned at the hands of fanatics and conquerors, depriving us of unimaginable insights into history, philosophy, and art, the papers carelessly thrown away by the citizens of Oxyrhynchus survived to the modern day. And though it is true that a great deal of what we know today is because of the conscious efforts of individual and organizations, such as the spectacular translation and preservation work done during the Islamic Golden Age, so much more is simply the result of coincidence and luck. We've lost texts that the ancients considered to be absolutely essential, while utterly trivial, even plagiarized work has survived unharmed. So if we want our descendants to remember more than glittering emo vampires and auto-tuned teens pop stars, we have to invest in make sure that Book of Osiris. The Book of the Scribe of Osiris, sometimes also referred to as the Book of the Journey to Aru, is an ancient Egyptian text discovered in the excavation of Oxyrhynchus. It has caused a certain degree of controversy among Egyptologists, as some argue that it is a classic funerary text, such as the Book of Coming Forth by Day, while others believe it to be a poetic work not intended to be understood literally. The book tells the story of a dying man who asks a scribe about the afterlife. The scribe, a servant of Osiris, describes how the man's ka, or life force, will become separated from his ba, his personality, and how he will have to reunite the two and become an Ak, a living intellect, passing a series of trials in the Duat, or underworld, in order to reach the paradise of Aru. Unlike similar texts, the Book of the Scribe of Osiris focuses less on giving advice, or a recent study, Karnahan Hassan, suggests that the text may have been intended as philosophical commentary on the world of the living through the allegory of the Duat. It remains unclear whether this was the intent of the original pre-Alexandrian author, or a result of the later translation into Greek. The earlier manuscript, which is considered to be more authentic, is too fragmentary to provide answers, although perhaps further excavation may. Progress is not made because people accept new discoveries, but because people not accepting discoveries would die, and new people would grow already accepting them. I kind of feel that. Like, I'm not, like, doubting it so much as, like, yeah, I kind of feel that in, like, how I view the world. There are concepts that I struggle to internalize that I see kids have absolutely no trouble with whatsoever.
A new land stands before you, my child. And know that this is a land of death, but also great beauty. As you walk amongst these tombs, consider all those who came before you, and how they served the greater purpose of which you are also part.
Alright, that said, we're gonna call it there for the night. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it each and every time. Next scheduled stream is going to be tomorrow. The game is going to be Ender Lilies. The next time that I'm playing Talos Principle in particular, thank you for the headphones. The next time that I'm playing Talos Principle in particular is going to be on Sunday. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful night. I hope to see you again. And I hope you have a good night. I think I said that twice. Good night.